Let's go. Wonderful. Good afternoon, all. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting of the Housing Authority, February 11th, 2024. We have no speakers registered to speak today in the community forum, so we can move to the action items. I'd ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes of our January 21st, 2024 meeting.
Motion made, Pastor.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And aye.
Very good. We'll go to our action items, number 02-25-04, resolution approving a contract with Cooperative Services for process serving services. If you would like to enlighten us, Brian.
I'd be happy to. So, as you know, the Housing Authority has to serve a tremendous number of papers in connection with its lease enforcement process. So that would be service of 5-day notices, 14-day notices, and then ultimately eviction petitions. So corporate services is our current vendor for this purpose. They do a great job, and they are the low bidder for a renewal of their contract over a 5-year period of time. There was one other qualified bidder, but they were more expensive on every single type of service. So this resolution simply appoints or approves a contract with corporate services for a 3-year period with up to 2 1-year extensions at the rates set forth in the resolution.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah, just off the top of your head, Brian, how many are served? How many papers do they have to serve? I see you got 3 levels, 5-day, 30 days, and the eviction.
Yeah, so
I know you said a lot.
So kind of anecdotally, I would say eviction petitions, so starting from the bottom, probably 75 to 100 a month.
A month?
Yeah. 30-day demands, probably 3 times that amount.
Okay.
And the 5-day demands could be upwards of probably, if I'm just guessing, 600 or 700 of them. Because the way the law works is if rent is not paid by the 5th day of the month, we have to provide the notice that they're late, and it has to go by certified mailing. So that cost is almost all the certified mailing cost.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. I wouldn't want to do that myself for sure. I really wouldn't. Thank you.
Any further questions, comments, concerns? May I get a motion to approve? May I get a second?
Second. Pastor. And
Aye. Item number 02-25-05, resolution approving a contract auditing service with the company, CPAS. These folks have been doing it for quite a few years. I don't know that we need a great explanation. They've been very responsive as far as I can tell. They do specialize in public housing authorities, so I don't know if we have any questions, comments, or concerns.
They were about $150,000 cheaper than the next lowest bidder.
Very good, even better. Any can I get a motion to approve?
motion.
May I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Advisement, do we want to do an update on any committees? If we have any updates? Mark?
Mark Bob Semple is on.
Yeah, so can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, the staff, everything is in your package, but just to highlight, they're involved with the Black History Film Series, which happens every Thursday this month at the in the lobby of the Housing Authority. So this Thursday, they're showing Do the Right Thing. Last week, because of the snow, we had to reschedule. So that movie from last week will be upcoming and updated. I want to thank Commissioner Kelly and Whalen for donating some of the food. So it's a dinner and a movie for Black History Month that the staff is working with collaboration with the Center for Law and Justice. So that's something that is happening now. Of course, the staff at the center is working with the community, and like I said, I'm always impressed with what they're doing. And that's all I really have for that report, for the community report.
Thank you. Anything further we'd like to get there?
Good to go.
So Diablo wanted me to mention a couple of things. So first is, you'll remember, I think it was an advisement to the board a couple of months back, where the Housing Authority had hired Nan McKay to do a review of the Section 8 program and make recommendations regarding how we could improve that. So that report is in. We haven't yet reviewed it in any great detail, but we will be doing that, hopefully, based upon what the recommendations are, following through on those. Secondly, there was, as you know, some concern when President Trump came back into town regarding the funding. And as of now, we've received the appropriate funding for February and for January, 95% of what we had expected. So we'll keep an eye on that moving forward and keep the board up to date on where those stand. And that's it.
What your best guess? Think he's receiving, or you think he's?
I mean, there's a lot of.
Nobody knows what he's going to do.
No, you can't predict him. A lot of lawsuits out there challenging all these executive orders. So I think, at least short term, we're gonna be fine. A lot of that will be a budget issue moving forward, and it's not gonna be so much him, but perhaps the rest of the House and the Senate.
Okay.
And Brian, is it you, or is it? I know we belong to the New York State, like a lobbying firm and all that. Is there somebody that's keeping an eye on what's happening instead of us? Although that's what's been happening. You know what I'm asking? Are we
Mark, the public housing, the FATA group, Public Housing Authority Directors Association, does a lot of work federally. In fact, typically in September every year, they have a legislative meeting in DC, but they do a fair amount of advocacy throughout the year, including, testimony before HUD as they prep their budget submission, annually.
Good. So, okay.
And there's as Ryan just said, there's a state association as well, and we participate as a housing authority in both those.
I think that's who he's talking about, right? It's NYS FATA,
Yep.
something like that.
All those things behind you, NYSFAH.
Yes, please. So is that what you were talking about, Mark? Asking if they were keeping a lookout in New York State?
Yeah, just keep an eye on both the state level, the federal level, because and I know everything is a surprise because of this administration, but so that we won't be caught off guard, you know what I mean? But if we have people watching it, I forgot about those folks. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. So thank you.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. Any other questions, comments, concerns today?
I'm looking at the cause for lease enforcement report, in there, there's one word. What's that about? Does anybody? For February 2025, I think it's the last one on the back.
Was it the out in front of the item? Was that it?
At the beginning of the email.
Okay.
Lobby outside. At Mohammed.
Okay.
Are you asking for like specifics on it?
No, not specifics, just, because I don't remember hearing about it, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those before.
Kind of went over my head.
Yeah.
But, okay.
So we're, okay. Just for, further explanation. If you don't
What was
mind.
that, Mike? I'm sorry.
I just said for, note for next meeting, perhaps we could get some further explanation on that one,
Okay.
a little detail.
March meeting, got it.
I have not seen, an eviction for cause because of murder on our list before, that I recall.
I don't recall it either. Typically, we don't have to actually terminate the lease because the person would
Yeah.
be incarcerated. Typically,
It's
no longer our problem.
yeah, it's a new category.
Yeah.
I would think it's enough to, evict somebody, but
But it's
what do
there.
I know?
It's there.
So perhaps we could get some further explanation on that.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Any other, questions, comments? Brief one today. Yeah, everything here, everything is included in your packet.
In the email they send out also has all the stuff attached to it.
So, all other items, in the internal report are included in packets. Obviously, after you review these, if you have any questions, please feel free to.
Motion to adjourn?
Let's make a motion to adjourn.
Second, third, and fourth.
All right.
That's okay.
Down to 3 this week. Motion approved.